I'm a 911 operator. Today I answered my own call. If you've ever wondered what it sounds like when someone is about to die, I can tell you. It sounds exactly like you. The call came in at 3:17 in the morning. I remember the time because I had just taken a sip of stale coffee and was counting the minutes until my shift ended. The night had been slow. One domestic dispute, a fender bender, a drunk guy who locked himself out of his apartment. Normal. Everything about that night felt painfully normal. The screen flashed an incoming call. No caller ID. That happens sometimes. Burner phones, bad signal, people who don't want to be traced. I adjusted my headset and slipped into my practiced voice. 911, what's your emergency? There was breathing on the other end. Shaky. Controlled, but barely. Then the caller spoke. Please, you have to help me. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Male voice. Mid-30s, maybe. Slight rasp. Controlled panic. I'm here to help, I said. Tell me your location. There was a pause. And then he gave me my address. I felt something cold move through my chest, slow and deliberate. I didn't react. Training kicks in before fear does. Sir, I said carefully, can you repeat the address? He did. My house. My street. Even the small detail about the gravel driveway that doesn't show up on most maps. I swallowed. Okay, I said, keeping my tone steady. What's happening there? There was a thud on his end. Like a door hitting a wall. He's inside, the caller whispered. My heart began to pound. Who is inside? Another pause. Then, me. The line crackled. I pulled up the call trace. It wasn't bouncing from my address. It wasn't even coming from my side of town. According to the system, it was pinging from somewhere near the old industrial district, abandoned warehouses and broken streetlights. Sir, I said slowly, are you in danger right now? Yes, he breathed. He's in the house. He looks exactly like me. The fluorescent lights above my desk suddenly felt too bright. Dispatch protocol says not to validate delusions. Keep the caller grounded. Focus on verifiable facts. Okay, I said. Where are you inside the house? In the bedroom closet. My stomach tightened. Because I have a bedroom closet. And for the first time that night, I realized I couldn't remember if I'd closed its door before leaving for work. I forced myself to continue. Are you alone in the house? No. The whisper came faster now. He's walking around. He's checking rooms. He knows I'm here. A floorboard creaked through the phone. I felt the sound in my spine. Stay quiet, I said. Officers are on the way. They weren't. Not yet. I hadn't dispatched anyone. I didn't know what I would even tell them. Suspicious caller claims he's hiding from himself? Another noise came through the line. Closer. The caller's breathing became uneven. He's in the hallway. I muted my microphone. My hands were shaking. This was a prank. It had to be. Someone who knew me. Someone trying to mess with me. But how would they know the layout of my house? How would they know about the loose floorboard outside the bedroom that squeaks unless you step over it? The caller suddenly gasped. He stopped. I unmuted. What's happening? He's standing outside the door. I could hear it now. Another set of breathing. Not through the caller's mouth. Through the room beyond him. Low. Slow. Waiting. The caller whispered, he's smiling. Something slammed against the closet door. The caller screamed and the line went dead. Silence filled my headset. I stared at the screen. Call duration, 4 minutes and 12 seconds. My address still blinked on the incident report. I sat there for a full minute, listening to nothing. Then my personal cell phone vibrated in my pocket. I don't usually bring it onto the floor, but I had tonight. The notification showed one new voicemail. From my home number. I don't have a landline. I didn't listen to it. Instead, I did the one thing I probably should have done first. I checked the security camera app on my phone. The feed from my living room loaded slowly, pixel by pixel. The room was dark. Empty. Then the motion sensor triggered. And the camera adjusted. Someone stepped into frame. He looked tired. Pale. Still wearing a headset. Still sitting in a dispatch chair. He looked directly into the camera. Into me. And he smiled. I didn't go home that morning. I told my supervisor I wasn't feeling well. That wasn't a lie. My hands hadn't stopped trembling, and every reflection in the glass windows looked like it might blink at me first. I sat in my car in the station parking lot as dawn turned the sky a pale, exhausted gray. Normal morning traffic rolled by. Commuters with coffee. Parents dropping kids off at school. Radio chatter from patrol units humming through my dashboard scanner. The world looked painfully ordinary. That's what made it worse. I replayed the voicemail. I had to. The message was 8 seconds long. Static. Breathing. Then my own voice, "You shouldn't have answered." Click. I drove home anyway. What else could I do? You can't call 911 on yourself and file a report that says, "Possible duplicate existence currently occupying residence." The neighborhood was quiet when I pulled into the driveway. My house looked exactly the way I'd left it. Curtains drawn. Porch light off. No broken windows. Normal. I sat in the car for a long time, studying it like it might shift when I blinked. Finally, I got out. The gravel crunched under my shoes. Too loud. Every step felt like I was announcing myself. The front door was locked. I unlocked it. The house smelled like it always does in the morning, dust and detergent and the faint trace of last night's dinner. I stepped inside. "Hello?" I called, hating the way my voice echoed back at me. No answer. I checked every room. Kitchen. Bathroom. Guest room. Nothing out of place. Until I reached the bedroom. The hallway floorboard creaked. I froze. I always step over that one. Always. The bedroom door was slightly open. I don't leave it like that. I pushed it wider. The room was still. The bed was made. The closet door was closed. I stared at it for a long time. Then I crossed the room and pulled it open. Empty. Just clothes. Shoes. The old cardboard box I keep tax papers in. No shaking man hiding in the corner. No duplicate. Just me. I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because my brain needed it to be. I told myself what I tell hysterical callers every night: you're safe. You're not in danger. Slow your breathing. I almost believed it. Then I heard it. A soft, deliberate click. From behind me. The bedroom door. I turned slowly. It was closed now. I hadn't closed it. The air in the room felt heavier. And then I noticed something that made my stomach fold in on itself. The bed wasn't made anymore. The covers were slightly pulled back. Like someone had just stood up. "Stop," I whispered, though I didn't know who I was talking to. The closet behind me creaked. I spun around. It was still open. But something inside shifted. A sleeve swayed. A shoe tipped. And from the dark space between hanging jackets, a voice spoke. My voice. You weren't supposed to come back. I couldn't move. He stepped out slowly, brushing past my shirts like he belonged there. He looked exhausted. Red eyes. Pale skin. Still wearing the same uniform I had on. Still wearing a headset. The wire dangled down his chest like a leash. He tilted his head. I called for help, he said. You didn't send anyone. I thought it was a prank, I managed. His smile twitched. It wasn't. The air between us felt tight, electric. What are you? I asked. He shrugged. Maybe I'm the one who went home. A sudden realization hit me like ice water. What do you mean? He took a step closer. When the call came in, maybe that's the split. Maybe there's always one who answers and one who hides. I shook my head. That's not possible. Neither is this, he replied softly. The lights flickered. I heard the faint static of an open phone line. Somewhere nearby, a distant ringing began. Not my cell. Not the house. The sound was coming from his headset. He lifted a finger to his ear like he was receiving a call. He smiled wider. They're calling again. The ringing grew louder. And then, in perfect synchronization, my own headset, the one still hanging around my neck from work, began to ring too. I hadn't noticed it was still powered on, that I hadn't noticed it was still connected. We both reached up at the same time. We both pressed the button. And together, in perfect unison, we said, 911, what's your emergency? From somewhere far away, through both headsets at once, came a whisper. He's inside. The line went dead. The room was empty. No duplicate. No second voice. Just me. Standing alone in my bedroom. The bed was made again. The closet door was closed. My headset was off. I don't know how long I stood there. I went back to work that night. I answered calls like nothing had happened. Fire alarms. Car accidents. Heart attacks. Normal. But now, every time the screen flashes an incoming call with no caller ID, I hesitate. Because one day soon, I know it's going to happen again. And next time I don't know which one of us will answer.